Hello, everybody. It is Saturday, January 10th, and welcome back to the Nick Watkins Show. I'm Nick Watkins. That's Noah Levesque. Today, we're going to be doing our playoff predictions and previews, breakdowns for the upcoming NFL wildcard games and for the entirety of the playoffs. But before we get into that, let's talk about what happened last night. There are two games of note. The first one is the Peach Bowl. Indiana beat Oregon 56-22. Dominant performance from the Hoosiers. They're now 15-0 and on their way to the national championship game against Miami. Dominant performance. We don't have to go into that too much. The other game, the Warriors beat the Kings 137-103. The second game of this 8-game homestand for the Warriors. It's going well so far. 2-0 on the homestand. And the Warriors' good offensive play has continued. Curry 27 and 10 assists. Jimmy Butler 15, 6 and 6. Draymond 11, 6 and 8. QP, Gary Payton, Pods, and the Anthony Melton also had double figures. So that's 7 Warriors in double figures. And not a single Warrior who played in this game had a negative plus minus. Great start to this homestand for the Warriors, and hopefully this can, like I said in the previous episodes, catapult us into a better spot in the Western Conference. But now, let's talk about football. 2 games today, part of Super Wildcard Weekend. We got the Rams and the Panthers, the Packers and the Bears. That'll be later on Amazon. And we're just going to talk about what we think is going to happen. We're going to break down each matchup for the weekend and give our picks for who's going to win the Super Bowl. So it's going to be a great episode. So Noah, how are we feeling today? How are you feeling about the wild card?
Pretty good. Best time of year, start of the NFL playoffs. I always enjoy watching those games. Yeah, super packed weekend. Lots of good matchups.
It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so both of our teams are going to be playing in the wild card weekend. Niners go tomorrow. Steelers go on Monday. But first, we're going to start with the games that are happening today. And we'll start with Rams-Panthers. Noah, your prediction for this game?
I have the Rams winning this game quite easily. I forgot which one exactly I said to you. I believe it was like 42-21 or something like that. I'll double check what I told you. Yeah, I had 41-21 Rams. I feel like the Rams offense is just it's elite. I think it's probably the best offense in the league, or it's at least top 3. And I don't know if the Carolina defense really matches up. I know they got a couple good players, but and I don't think the Carolina offense is really good enough to match that Rams offense. So I think this is probably the easiest pick of the wildcard weekend, to be honest with you.
I agree. With all due respect to the Panthers, I mean, obviously they had to fight their way into this, and they were playing some good ball. But it really feels like they just fell backwards into this playoff spot. I mean, they lost to Seattle, then they lost to the Buccaneers, and if it wasn't for Atlanta, they wouldn't even be here. So although the Panthers definitely earned this playoff spot, they had to beat some good teams. They beat the Rams earlier, but I don't see a way that the Panthers can win this game. In that game, between the Rams and the Panthers in the regular season, Stafford threw 2 interceptions in that game. I think he might have had 3 turnovers in total, which is definitely not Matthew Stafford-esque. I don't see that happening. Very similar score prediction. I think it's going to be 42-21 LA. Like you said, probably the easiest pick. Even though the Rams have been kind of cold as of late, really ever since that Carolina game, it's not a fair matchup. I think Rams take this one easily.
Yeah.
First game of the wildcard weekend, that is at 1:30 on Fox, and then on Amazon at 5. It's a rivalry game. It's the Packers at the Bears for the 3rd time this year. This one is a playoff game. Noah, your prediction for this one?
I have the Bears beating the Packers 28-13. And this might, surprise some people because the Packers historically kind of owned the Bears, but I feel like the Packers kind of have everything going against them coming into the playoffs. A lot of season-ending injuries. Tucker Kraft earlier this year, Micah Parsons, I believe that was like a couple weeks ago. Um, Jordan Love is coming off a concussion. Josh Jacobs has not been healthy at all recently either, and they kind of run their whole offense around Josh Jacobs. To be honest with you, and the Bears' defense is also pretty elite. I believe they're number one in interceptions, and they're, I think, first in total turnovers forced, if not second to the Texans. I think that just the Green Bay offense won't be able to do very much, and their defense is beaten up as well with Micah Parsons out. And I feel like Caleb Williams and the Bears will be able to score some points on this defense, even though they have been good at times this year. But I have 28 Bears to Green Bay's 13.
I think it might be a little bit closer than that, in my opinion, just because there are a lot of factors that play into it. But the main one that I'm kind of looking at is, you know, just the fact that these two teams absolutely hate each other. And that goes a long way because when you're in this atmosphere in January and, win or go home and you're lining up against guys that you just despise, I think that really can add fuel to a team. Um, I think the Bears definitely are the better team in this one. Packers with Micah Parsons probably would give them a run for their money. Maybe even would have won the division. I mean, you remember back to the beginning of the year, they looked so
Yeah.
good. But obviously, it's a big loss. They have been hurt a lot as of late. And I do think the Bears are a good team. They have lost their last two, but I predict the Bears to win this game. I think it's going to be 25-24. I think just because this is Caleb Williams' first playoff game, and then on the other side, the Packers, Jordan Love, they do have experience. They have been, this is a little fun fact, the 7th seed in the NFL has existed for 6 years, and the Packers have been the 7th seed 3 out of those 6 years. The last 3 consecutive years, they've been the 7th seed. So they have a little bit more experience. They've been some playoff teams. They beat the Cowboys that one time. But I do think the Bears will, maybe after a slow start, pick it up and win this game 25-24. I mean, the last 2 games that these teams played, really the last 4 games these teams have played against each other have been super close. So that's why I think it might be a little bit closer than that. But yeah, we both have the Bears winning in this one. And it's going to be a big test for Caleb Williams just to see if he has that clutch gene or not. But yeah, I think 25-24 in this one. So those are the games for today. Now, moving on to Sunday's games, where, in my opinion, probably the 2 best games, or maybe the most intriguing matchup-wise, will be played at 10 and then 1:30. And then, so there are 3 games on Sunday. And the first one is, in my opinion, probably will be the best one. These are 2 really good teams. The Jacksonville Jaguars hosting the Buffalo Bills. A lot of intriguing storylines in this one. The Jaguars making it back to the playoffs. In their first year under Liam Cohen, Trevor Lawrence is playing the best football he's ever played and looking like the star number 1 draft pick that he was supposed to be and currently is playing like. And then on the other side, the Bills, the Chiefs aren't here. This is their opportunity. This, the team that has stood in their way all these years, finally out of the dance, and it's opened up for them. Can they do it? Will Josh Allen be able to carry them? I don't know. Your thoughts on this one?
I have this as a higher scoring close game as most Bills games are. I have the Bills beating the Jags 34-31. And I know this might be sort of an unpopular opinion. I just feel like the Bills, have been there and done that in terms of winning games in the playoffs, whereas the Jags have had that game against the Chargers, and that's just pretty much it. I do think that if Josh Allen is given time to make plays where, he's allowed to get out of the pocket and, stretch plays out, I think the Bills will win this game. And I know that the Jags secondary is pretty beat up right now. So in terms of coverage, Josh might have some open receivers. I know the Bills' defense has been shaky at times. That's why I have Jacksonville scoring a lot of points as well, because Jacksonville's offense has been good this year too. I honestly can see this game going either way. I feel like it's going to be a high-scoring game. But I trust Josh Allen in the playoffs, because he's gone off in the playoffs in the last 4 or 5 years, especially in the early rounds. Um, and yeah, I just have Bills 34, Jacksonville 31 as my final prediction.
That is also the same score that I have, 34-31. I think I agree with what you said. I think this is probably the closest one. It really is a toss up, and I could see it going either way. And I think it will come down to the wire. And you could probably, after this game, you could point to a couple of plays saying, well, if the Bills did this or the Jags did that, they'd win the game. These are two really good teams. They didn't play each other in the regular season. This is their first time seeing each other here. I think it's going to be really close. 34-31 is my prediction. And I really feel like for Josh Allen, this is probably, this is his opportunity. And I think he has to go out and just turn into that insane MVP mode, or else I think the Bills organization will really have to make some tough decisions if they lose this game or if they don't make it far. Because a lot of times this year it's just been Josh Allen putting the team on his back and carrying them to wins. This is a very good Jacksonville team. This is a very intriguing game, and for sure. And I think either team could make a run. It's very difficult first matchup. Definitely a fun game. It's going to be a fun game. And then the next game is the one that I'm most excited for, just because San Francisco 49ers somehow we're in this thing. It's the Niners at the Eagles, and we haven't played Philly since we walked into their stadium and just smoked them and embarrassed them thoroughly. But that was over 2 years ago. So we haven't seen them since then. They've won a Super Bowl since then. And I don't know what your feelings are on this, but I feel like for a 49ers Eagles game, it's been oddly quiet in the week leading up to it. I mean, I've seen a couple of things, like a couple of Eagles players talking trash, but maybe it's because Debo's not here anymore, and he was the guy who was mainly talking. But I feel like it's been kind of quiet for such a rivalry game.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like these two teams really just don't like each other through like playoff history and also just regular season history. I'm surprised that like you said, I have not seen as much on social media about the teams talking trash and all that stuff. Do you want me to go with the prediction right now?
I think we can get to that after this, because I guess what I just thought of is maybe the reason, maybe the quietness from the 49ers actually says more than if they were to say something. Maybe it's, it goes to show their mindset, their mentality, because they just got, thoroughly embarrassed on national television from the Seahawks. And, their quietness, I guess, really says something, maybe how locked in they are. And I hope that's the case, because, we're going to need it for this one. So, why don't you go ahead, just share your prediction for this game.
Yeah, I know a lot of watchers of the show will be a little displeased with my score prediction, including obviously Nick over here. But I have the Eagles winning 21-18 over the Niners. Now, this is a game I kind of see a little bit like the Seahawks game last weekend, where both teams are given opportunities and they both don't always capitalize on those opportunities. I feel like both offenses have been pretty inconsistent. Niners, obviously, until last week, were doing amazing. And then last week, they really just did not show up. The offense did. And I feel like the Eagles' defense, is obviously better than the Niners' defense is right now, especially without Fred Warner. If Fred Warner was playing this week and or even if the Niners were at home, if the Niners were at the 1 seed playing against the Eagles at some point later in the playoffs, I might have picked the Niners, to be honest with you. Um, but the Niners really don't have a lot of momentum, and it's a harsh environment in Philly. The defense is definitely questionable, where the Eagles have a lot of playmakers on offense, even though their offense this year has not been as good as on paper it should be. I feel like I said, both teams will miss some opportunities, but at the end of the day, I feel like the come to it, like the Eagles defense would be able to make a stop better than the Niners defense would. Um, and we'll see which teams capitalize on their opportunity more. I honestly think this game could go either way, though. This was the hardest one for me to pick. I could definitely see the Niners winning this one, though. But I right now have the Eagles.
I think this game is really interesting just because of how the teams match up against each other. Because obviously, we know the 49ers, the offense, aside from last week, has just been humming at a unbelievable rate. Brock Purdy's playing out of his mind and basically fully healthy. I mean, Trent, he hasn't banged up. It looks like he is going to play. Ricky, questionable. I'm not sure if he's going to play in this one. But even without Trent against the Bears, we looked really good with Pleasance, and he did a great job. Obviously, for the 49ers, the offense is the strong suit. And I said it before, the offense is going to determine how far we go. And then on the other side, for the Eagles, their defense is 100% their strong suit. I mean, you remember back-to-back weeks in the middle of the year. On Monday night and then Sunday night, they held the Packers and the Lions to under 10 points. That is a incredible feat. And then, that's strength on strength, Niners offense on Eagles defense. And then on the other side, it's a mess. I mean, the 49ers defense, we are so hurt. Everybody is hurt. We have our linebackers weren't even on the team at the start of the year. We just signed them recently. If you look at all the injuries, Warner, Bosa, Michael Williams, Bethune's out for the year. And we're just so young and experienced. We're giving up a ton of yards. And then the other side, this Eagles offense, which was so good last year, is nowhere to be found. I mean, they have so many weapons. They have Saquon Barkley, who ran for 2,000 yards last year. He's not even at 3 yards per carry this year. A.J. Brown, all the drama. Devontae Smith, Goddard, and Hurts, and that great O-line. And yet they have been very underwhelming. And this is why it's so interesting, because you have strength on strength and then weakness on weakness going up against each other. And it just goes back and forth. Like if the Niners offense stumbles a little bit, and it should be over, but that offense for the Eagles might not be able to score points. So it's really, really interesting. And I think the key to this game is probably Saquon Barkley, because you saw how good he was in the playoffs last year. And if we can stop him, which we haven't been good at stopping the run as of late, but if we're able to stop him, the Eagles offense can't do anything, and it will give our offense more chances, more breathing room, more of a margin for error, I guess. Because you don't want to have to get into a shootout against a team that's like with a defense that good. I don't see that happening, but it's just back and forth, back and forth. So I think no bias, but like a tiny bit of bias. I think the 49ers are winning 26-21. I think the offense obviously sucked last week, but this is a team that is so resilient. I feel like every week somebody goes down and we have to pick ourselves up and play the next game. And we haven't lost 2 games in a row this year. And I think this team is just so resilient. I don't know how far we're going to make it, but I don't think it's going to end here. I think we can keep going. So 49ers 26-21 over the Eagles. And then the last game, Sunday night, the Patriots at the Chargers. What do you think about for this one?
This one, honestly, I feel like is, for me, kind of the second or third easiest to predict. I really don't think the Chargers look very good coming into the playoffs. Their offensive line is just terrible. And Justin Herbert has been taking so many hits this year, and he's really just has no time in the pocket at all. And I think New England has a solid defense. It's not, elite, but it's an above average defense. And obviously Drake May um on their offense as a whole has been clicking so well that I feel like this game really I have the score kind of close. I have New England winning 24-17 because I do think the Chargers have some talent, but I really don't see any way the Chargers win this game. Um, Now, obviously, Justin Herbert's super talented. He can really connect with his wide receivers. Um, but their run game is just pretty much non-existent. Their offensive line is terrible. Their defense, I mean, it's been better the last couple of years, but it's still like solid. But honestly, I trust New England at home with Drake May, and I really don't see a way that New England is to win this game. To be honest with you,
I can see the way the game going as like the Patriots jump out, maybe a little bit slower at the beginning, maybe not a lot of scoring in the first quarter, maybe the first half even. But the Patriots at some point will jump out to a two-score lead, and then a cycle will start where the Chargers cut it to one score and the Patriots respond and keep it at two scores. I feel like that kind of thing could happen over and over in this game, where it feels close, but time will run out on the Chargers season. I think 35-21, New England winning this game. Um, yeah, I agree. It's probably one of the easier ones to pick in this one. That leads to Monday night, the last game of the wild card weekend, where the Texans go to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. This is your team. You watch them every week. How do you feel about your chances in this one?
I mean, I'll be honest. Last week's game was basically a playoff game. The absolutely insane game. Might be game of the year. There's a lot of candidates for that.
I don't know about that.
No, I'm saying it's maybe top five.
Oh yeah, top five for sure. It was
I'm
really
saying, yeah. I think probably the Bills Ravens at week one maybe tops that. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. I have Houston winning this game. I'm unbiased. I'll be honest with you. We have not won anything in the playoffs since like the last 10 years basically with Mike Tomlin, and he's gonna have to prove me wrong before I predict that the Steelers win. Um, Obviously, I want us to win, but I have Houston winning 27-17 this game against us. Aaron Rodgers, I feel like with DK Metcalf back, the offense is going to look a little better. But this Texans defense, man, it's pretty scary. They have no weaknesses, and they have elite cornerbacks, elite linebackers. And honestly, our offensive line is decent, but how much time is Rodgers going to get in the pocket? Probably not very much. And we've seen when he uses only like 1 second in the pocket, that our offense is not good. That's what happened against the Browns 2 weeks ago when we were trying to prevent the Myles Garrett sack record for some reason.
yeah.
We throwing the ball away after 1.7 seconds or something, and we're just really not creating anything on offense. And I think Houston, I will say, I don't believe C.J. Stroud has ever won a playoff game outdoors, and in those games outdoors, he's not done super well. And C.J. Stroud's a little inconsistent, I think, but so is our defense, to be honest with you. We have playmakers, but we don't always make the plays. Honestly, like, this is a hard game to predict because I could see us winning. I mean, if our defense, can really stop Stroud and our offense is good enough where we can, actually make plays and keep the defense out there and tire them out, I could see us winning. And we're at home as well. Hostile environment in the cold for C.J. Stroud and the Texans, who are used to the indoor stadium. I can see us winning that game, but realistically, that defense is just too good to overlook. And I don't think we do very much on offense Monday. So 27-17, my final score.
I like that you brought up the Browns game because that was the exact game that I was going to bring up to justify this prediction. That because when your offense is throwing screens and checkdowns to Kenneth Gainwell, I mean, it's worked. But how many points did you score in that game? Was it like 3? It wasn't 3, but it was.
The Browns game, I believe, was 9.
It was 6 points.
9 or 6, yeah.
That's the Browns, right? Like, obviously the Browns probably have a top 5 defense in the league, but that offense is like not doing anything. This is a team that actually has a competent offense, even though it's not the best, but it's not the Browns.
Yeah.
No disrespect to them. But when you have Aaron Rodgers, who's a legend. Don't get me wrong, but he's not gonna be rolling out of the pocket, evading all those defenders. I think when that pass rush will close the pocket, and I don't think he's gonna be able to do anything. I just based off of the Browns game, I I don't see the offense being able to do anything. So my prediction for this game is 22-10. Um, that defense is so good, and I love D'Amico Ryan's product of the Shanahan tree, which we should go over for an episode in the future if we have like an off day or something, because that the Shanahan coaching tree is insane, all the way from Mike. Like we're getting sidetracked, um, but yeah, I don't see this going well for you guys. Just honestly, I mean, yeah, I
I'm
don't.
obviously gonna watch because it's the first playoff game we've had at home with fans since 2017.
Yeah.
So that should be exciting, good environment. But like you said, I don't have a lot of confidence going in. I don't think many Steelers fans do, to be honest with you. But if they've watched any games the last 5 years, yeah,
And I think the Texans are red hot. They've won 9 in a row.
yeah,
And you got to keep this team started 0-3. They're 12-5 now. They've gone 12-2 in the last 14 games. That's ridiculous. And they beat some good teams.
yeah.
They beat Jacksonville. They beat Buffalo. They beat us. They beat the Chargers. They beat some really good teams to get here, and I think they might be able to go a long way.
Yeah,
I mean, I think you have them going all the way, don't you?
I do. Spoiler alert, but I do.
Let's just go ahead and jump into that. Jump into more deeper playoff predictions. How you think it's gonna go?
So going into the divisional round, with Buffalo beating Jacksonville, they would be playing Denver, I believe, since they'd be the lowest seed.
Mm.
And I have that game being close. But to be honest with you, Denver is probably the least impressive first seed I've seen. I don't even know
I agree.
in a while, and I feel like sorry, they keep themselves in games they should not be in, and they've
Mm-hmm.
really underperformed against bad teams like that terrible
Christmas.
Raiders game, and also Christmas
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
The Raiders game, the Chiefs games, like those games, they should not even be within a one score, or let alone scoring like 13 points against these teams. And honestly, the offense is really inconsistent. They have zero running game. I know RJ
Mm-hmm.
Harvey's been good in the passing game, but honestly, zero running game. Um, and obviously their defense is great, but I have Buffalo winning 24-21 over the Broncos. Um, the cold environment's not going to impact Buffalo at all. They're used to it. Um, I just feel like I said before, Josh Allen's been there, done that. I feel like he has the advantage over Bo Nix, who has not. And they beat him last year in the playoffs as well, even though it was in Buffalo. Um, and honestly, I think Josh Allen can take the team on his shoulders again. And I feel like Denver's pretty unimpressive, especially on the offensive side of the ball. And I think Buffalo can win that game. Yeah.
You mentioned what I was going to bring up, like pretty much exactly. I think the Broncos, yes, they're a good team, very good team, but they won 11 games by one score.
Yeah.
And what's the record again? It's like, are they 14-3?
I believe
14 and
so.
3.
Yeah.
And 11 of those games are by one score. Didn't the Chiefs do that last year?
Yep.
And I mean, you saw what happened to them. I mean, they did
They
go all
did
the
make the
way,
Super
but
Bowl.
they went to
Yeah.
the Eagles. I think if you take half of those games and reverse the outcome, are they even in the playoffs? I don't think so. Maybe
Yeah, I don't know.
they would be, but they would be the 7th seed. So I think they they're definitely a good team. That defense is really good. The offense is inconsistent, but they just kind of feel like the team that would get rusty after a bye week
Yeah.
and just not have enough uh, firepower to stop whoever they were to face. It would be Josh Allen and the Bills. If it goes the way we think it would be. But even if they face the Texans, I think the Texans could beat them too.
Yep.
Um, I agree. The Broncos definitely are a good team, but just something about them says, one and done after
Yeah.
the bye. The other team that has a bye week are the Seattle Seahawks. This is where our bracket differs. Um, I have them playing the Niners. You have them playing the Rams.
Yep.
Um, no bias. Yeah, we're getting beat in this one. Um, this based on even if you go back to week 1, where the only game of the entire year where we were at full strength, and that was only for like 15 minutes. Um, we only scored 17, and we did not look good on offense in week 1. And you go to week 18, and we looked even worse. And the difference in that game was we didn't have Nick Bosa to punch the ball out and win the game for us. And if we were to run into the Seahawks again at their stadium, yeah, it's wraps, unfortunately. If it were anybody else, I'd feel better. But the Seahawks are really good. But with that being said, if they face the Rams, though, I feel like it's a little bit more even,
Yeah.
a little bit more up for grabs. What do you think? That would be your bracket, your game.
Yeah.
What do you think of that one?
I would have Seahawks Rams second round, and my prediction is Seahawks taking it 30-27. I think it's gonna be a pretty high scoring game. The Seahawks defense is elite, but so is the Rams offense. So I feel like the Rams offense being as good as it is kind of makes the Seahawks defense, less of a factor in the game. And I think the more of the factor for the Seahawks is going to be their offense in that type of game. Where if they can match the Rams production, which won't be as elite because the Seahawks defense is also elite. But I feel like the Seahawks home advantage is just like something that's super important throughout the playoffs. First seed, the crowd environment in Seattle is absolutely ridiculous. They have playmakers everywhere on the field. They're the Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker combo on running back is elite. Obviously, JSN is crazy. Sam Darnold can be a little inconsistent, but I feel like even he just needs to be good, and the Seahawks will do fine. I feel like, and I think the Rams defense is not good enough to really match them out in the shootout like that, so they can win. I mean, we saw that a couple weeks ago, in that crazy game in Seattle. So I feel like it's going to turn out kind of the same.
If it were to be Seahawks Rams, I think that is another 50-50 for me. Just because obviously the Seahawks are, rolling right now. But if you look at how Sam Darnold played, I mean, the Seahawks and the Rams played 8 quarters and overtime this year. And he played 7 bad quarters and then a great fourth quarter and overtime. If you go back to that first game, which was obviously in LA, he looked horrible. He threw 4 interceptions. And then the Rams had a 16-point lead in that Thursday night insane, crazy game. I think they didn't have Devontae Adams in that game. I could see a repeat of that happening, and I could honestly see it going either way. Rams and Seahawks both have elite defenses and elite defensive lines. I mean, I think the Rams defense has honestly slept. You forget about them with that offense. And both offenses are also very good. I think that if the Rams and Seahawks were to match up, that would probably be another game of the year. That would be incredible. And then we both have the Bears winning. You would have the Bears Eagles. I would have the Bears Rams. I think if it were the Bears or the Rams, I think the Rams would probably win that one. I mean, I have Seahawks Rams NFC Championship game, so I think we both would have that game. And I already made my case for that one. But yeah, I think the Rams would beat the Bears in that sense. But what about Bears Eagles? How do you feel about that one?
I feel like Bears take that one relatively easily, to be honest with you. I agree with you, though, that if the Rams play the Bears, I could 100% see the Rams winning. Honestly, I might
right. It's the never mind. Yeah, I thought you were talking about Bears Rams.
Oh, no.
Bears for sure.
Yeah, Bears Eagles.
I mean, happened on Black Friday. That was in Philly.
Yeah.
and this one's in Chicago.
Hmm.
I agree with you on that one.
Honestly, like I said before, I feel like the Eagles are to be given some opportunities on offense, and they're just not going to take advantage of that. And um, Chicago's offense is also very good, but their defense is really good as well. And so, unlike the Niners, and I will give the Niners credit, they've really stepped in to the injuries, and they've gotten guys to step up that you wouldn't even know who their names were at the start of the year. But Chicago's defense is much better, and I feel like they're just gonna really hold down the Eagles, and I have Chicago winning 21-10 against the Eagles. But like you said, if they were to play the Rams, I might even pick the Rams in that game. Just Matt Stafford's experience compared to Caleb Williams. But I feel like Caleb Williams in this bracket that I have would have two pretty favorable matchups. Um, and yeah, so I would have Seahawks Bears NFC Championship game.
And then going back to the AFC, it would be Broncos Bills, and then Patriots Texans. Um, but these are all great games.
Yeah,
I mean, basically, no offense, of course, but aside from the Steelers and the Panthers, every team in the the Steelers are still good.
yeah.
They're a good team. I just don't see them beating anybody except maybe the Chargers if that were to happen. But the Panthers are not a good team, and the Steelers are a good team, but they just wouldn't win any games. Anybody could make it. Like realistically, anybody has a shot this year, and that's what makes it so fun. How many people's Super Bowl predictions would look completely different. You could see a great variety of selections to win games, and that's what makes this year's playoffs so fun. Um, but yeah, Patriots Texans, we would both have that. This is another close game.
Mm-mm.
You don't think so?
No, like I think it's not going to be a close game. I mean, it is
Really?
going to be a close game. Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah,
it is going to be a close
yeah. I
game.
was agreeing with you. My bad. My bad.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, this is another one that easily could go either way.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you have winning this one?
This is like my first like really hot take that might, you know, bite me in the future. But I have Houston winning 27 to
Really?
24.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
and I know that it's going to be in New England, and it's cold. But at this point, I think that Texans defense, I'm not overlooking that kind of defense. I feel like that is legit a Super Bowl contending defense. Those kind of defenses do not come across very easily. I think it's the best defense we've seen in a long time. Since like the last few years, it's probably one of the better defenses we've seen. And I feel like Drake May first playoff run against that kind of defense. I like the Texans' experience, with D'Amico Ryans and C.J. Stroud, as well as they've been in the playoffs last 2 years. At this point they've beaten the Steelers. They've won 10 games in a row if they win against the Steelers. They're just riding the hot hand. I know New England's pretty hot too, but I just like their experience over New England's, and I feel like that defense can really, keep Drake May in check, who's really the Patriots' heart and soul of their team, and he's the reason they're winning games. If they can keep that in check, I think it will be close though, because I feel like I'm also kind of banking on C.J. Stroud being even just good, because there's been times where he struggled with accuracy, and the Texans' offense just looks really, really terrible. But I'm banking on him just being even just like good or above average, and I think that will take the Texans over pretty much every team in the league, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, if you go back to the Chargers game in week 17, Texans Chargers, the Texans had two good drives to open the game. They scored two touchdowns. That was it, pretty much. So I could see that happening, but I could also see, I think it's going to be low scoring. But, and this is like razor thin, as are most of these games. I'm going to take the Patriots. I'm like 50% confident in that pick. This really could go either way. I
Yeah.
mean, I might change my mind before this video is over. But yeah, I'll take Patriots, which would set up for me Pats Bills, for you Texans Bills. Texans hosting
Yeah.
playoff game as a wild card seed. That would be something for sure. And Texans Bills, those teams play each other already. The Texans won that game with Davis Mills. That was a Thursday night game.
Yeah.
Josh Allen took like 8 sacks in that game. Do you see that happening again?
Yeah, to be honest with you, the way my AFC Championship rolls out, I have the Texans winning that game as well. I think it's gonna be close because honestly, the Bills do not play any blowout games that they don't win. You know what I'm saying? If
Mm-hmm.
they lose, it's gonna be a close game. Um, I have Houston winning 26-23, and I feel like the only reason the Bills are gonna get to 23 is because they're gonna go for these late game comebacks. I feel like Texans are gonna take a pretty big lead towards the end of the game. Um, when it comes to it, where Josh Allen can't come out of the pocket and really stretch plays and make plays, he really doesn't have any options to throw to. He's got, if they can keep James Cook, you know, under 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 control, he has Khalil Shakir and I love cookies Keon Coleman. You know what I'm saying? So it's really just like he has nobody to throw to, and we saw him
Yeah.
take 8 sacks. And it's going to be in Houston again if they play. Um, I don't know if that offensive line matches up against that defensive line. Like what happened last game, Allen had no time to throw, no time to make plays. He didn't make plays. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like in that specific matchup, Houston has the edge, and I have them winning that game and moving on to the Super Bowl.
I mean, defense wins championships, right? That's what
Yep.
they say. That's how the Eagles won last year. It's how we should have won in 2023-24 until Dre Greenlaw tore his Achilles running onto the field.
Yeah.
I think that's the first time I ever talked about this on the show. And this is like 122, episode 122. So I'm going to give myself props for that because that could be a whole episode. Conspiracy theory. But let's get, whatever. My AFC championship would be Patriots Bills. They split the season series. I think the Patriots would win it though, because if you look at the game that the Bills won in New England, the Patriots were up by at least 14. It might have been 21 until the Bills
I
stormed
think it
back.
was.
I would take the Patriots in that one. I mean, they looked, kind of like the Rams Seahawks. The Rams dominated for 6 quarters and then blew up. But so that's how I think Rams Seahawks was my pick as well, wasn't it? Yeah, it
For the
was.
NFC Championship, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess it would be. I'll take the Rams and I'll take the Patriots for the Super Bowl.
Wow, okay.
And your pick was.
I have the Seahawks over the Bears in the NFC Championship. I think that one's gonna be a low scoring game. I think I said 18-16.
Really that
in
low?
favor of the Seahawks. I feel like that's the type of game where Sam Darnold would throw like 2 picks or 2 or 3 picks.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the type of game where he would really just struggle,
Really good
and
at
that's
taking the ball away.
yeah. I feel like that's where the Seahawks defense steps up and really keeps
Mhm.
Caleb Williams and the Bears offense under control. I can see Sam Darnold throwing like 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions that game or something like that.
Yeah. Kind of like a Russell Wilson that was another NFC Championship game actually. He threw 4 interceptions and they won the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see that happening as well. So you have Texans Seahawks in the Super Bowl. I have Patriots Rams. And this is what I'm talking about. Like I said earlier, like these are 4 very different teams. And we didn't even talk like the Bills could make it, like the Bears could make it, the Niners could make it.
Steelers.
But I mean, maybe.
Not
Who
sure.
knows? I want it to happen. The Steelers.
That'd
I mean,
be cool,
shoot.
man. I don't know.
Steelers, Niners, Super Bowl, Panthers, Steelers in the Super Bowl confirmed.
Hey, I'm going. Steelers, Niners, Super Bowl. I'm going. I'm there.
If one of our teams makes the Super Bowl, we're 100% going.
Yeah.
I wanted to buy the tickets like week 1 and sell them for huge profit.
Oh
if the
yeah.
Niners don't, whatever. So who do you have winning the Super Bowl?
I mean, I said this earlier, but I have the Texans. I feel like, like we both said, defense wins championships. I have a score of 23 to.
Okay, keep on.
Oh, my bad. I have 23-17 Houston final score. Again, I feel like Sam Darnold probably would struggle against that defense, and CJ Stroud would also struggle against that Seahawks defense. So I feel like it's not going to be a super high scoring game. Weather not really a factor. Levi Stadium, so Neutral site in terms of fans. I'd say probably more Seahawks fans there. Um,
Yeah,
but
probably.
I have Houston winning that. I feel like I was thinking about it, like Sam Darnold winning a Super Bowl just does not really sound right in my head. So in fairness, I mean CJ Stroud sounds kind of weird too, but their defense just it's elite, man. I don't know what to
Yeah.
say. But yeah, Sam Darnold winning Super Bowl was not sitting right with me. So I had Houston winning.
Do you think that the weather is going to be a factor? I mean, it's cold. Like, obviously, it's probably a month away, but like, I mean, it's been the past year almost. It's been like way colder than usual. I mean, we're at like what 50 right now.
Yeah.
I have 56.
I feel like at this
Um,
point it's not going to be colder than Seattle, probably. If
oh yeah,
anything, it's going to be about the same. So Seattle, it's not going to be the same, but like Seattle will be used to it.
yeah,
Seattle will be fine. Houston would have came out of playing in Houston, I get that, but before that in Pittsburgh and in Denver,
and
so two cold
yeah,
environments there. So I feel like both teams that's not as much of a factor. And here, like it's what 50 degrees, 60 degrees
yeah. I
at
mean, it's
night.
beautiful.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's nice right now,
perfect
but
football weather.
yeah, at night it gets
Every,
colder, but I don't feel like that's too much of a factor unless it like really starts raining and everything, which it could. I mean, it's been
yeah,
raining, but
I mean, it could, but I mean, every day when I wake up, I go out for my run. I'm like, wow, this is perfect football weather. Um, and maybe that'll continue. But anyway,
we'll see.
for the Super Bowl, you have the Texans,
Yep.
and I have the Patriots winning this one. Patriots over the Rams. I think it's going to be very different from Super Bowl 53 when these two teams play each other.
Oh yeah,
Um, would that give the Patriots 7?
I believe so.
Oh
Yeah.
no, maybe I gotta change the pick so that doesn't happen.
At
Um,
least
but
it's
I
not
think
Tom
it's
Brady.
it won't be Brady. I don't know. Score prediction 30 to 29.
Whoa. Wow. Okay.
Just make it close like that,
Absolute cinema.
right? Absolute cinema.
Yeah.
Absolute cinema. We got. Those are just our predictions. Obviously, if you have your predictions, who do you think is going to win? Drop that in the comments. If you're even here still, I mean, holy moly, we're 47 minutes in. Wow. Okay. But yeah, we got good football for the entire weekend, for the entire month now, and there's
Yeah.
going to be so many interesting storylines. Um, while you're here, though, you are the expert about hockey. You know everything there is to know. Um, are the Sharks just the best team in the NHL, or what,
I mean, Macklin Celebrini is one of the best players in the NHL. I will say that.
dude?
I'm not gonna lie.
He's unbelievable.
I'm
He's
I knew this guy was good coming out of college, but would I be thinking he's doing this at what, like 19 years old right now?
he is
No.
19 and a half.
Hmm.
He has 67 points, which is more than he had in the entirety of last year. I saw that. Don't do that.
Do what?
I know. You know.
No, I didn't do anything. All right.
And he has 43 assists, which is second in the league behind McDavid. When you're up there with McDavid and McKinnon on any leaderboard, you're doing something right. And the Sharks are doing something right because we have 22 wins, which is more than we had last year. 22, 18, and 3. Man, this entire year I've been saying, okay, the Sharks are in a playoff spot. Well, we have 5 months to go, 4 months to go. You have 3 months to go, and the Sharks are still in a playoff spot.
I will
We'll keep
say
an eye on that.
that Western
Sharks
Conference is really bad, especially in the
Pacific is
wild
so
card.
weak.
But that's why the Sharks can make the playoffs because it's so weak, and
Yeah.
the Sharks have talent to win games. So seeing playoffs back in San Jose would be really hype. To be honest with you, I'd love to see that.
Our our rebuild is way ahead of schedule.
Oh yeah,
We were supposed to be bad this year, but instead we're in the we're either in exciting season but just missed the playoffs or a second round exit, which is 2.5 years ahead of schedule. So I
Mhm.
bring that up because the Sharks play at 1. I'm just going over all the action for today. Sharks play at 1. Warriors don't play and then at 1:30 Rams Panthers, at 5 Packers Bears. I'm so excited. I I'm yeah, I'll just leave it there because I'm so excited for the playoffs. Anybody can win, even the Panthers and the Steelers.
Thank you.
So I mean, let's just see what happens. I'm super excited for this. So yeah, Noah, thank you for coming on the show again.
My pleasure.
It's been wonderful, and hopefully we'll do this soon. Sooner than we want to. Hopefully, we'll have you on in this month maybe to talk about some hockey, talk about the Olympics, maybe,
Hell yeah.
or
Yeah.
if something crazy happens in football, we'll do this again. So, thank you, and thank you guys so much for watching. A bit of a longer episode, but good content. It's not just me yapping; it's two of us yapping. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you tomorrow. Please work, please work, please work, please work. Okay.